like training center.
So it's around 7 in the morning, and we are on our way to meet an aerial reconnaissance unit of the 43rd Artillery Brigade, who are working here in the vicinity of Chasiv Yar, where the Russians have been assaulting heavily for the past months. And it's really an important job, because due to the lack of ammunition here in Ukraine, these artillery brigades rely on precise information so that they can make the most use of what they have. It should be quite a safe working day for us, because we're relatively far behind the front line. But make no mistake, if the Russians spot a recon unit like that, they will spare no means to attack it.
We arrive at the position and the guys prepare for work. With electronic warfare and countermeasures for drones rapidly advancing, flying has become a lot more difficult, with high losses for both sides. That's why these men fly the ARES, an ultra-lightweight, cost-effective drone made locally in Ukraine. Cheap drones like these are expendable and can be produced fast and in large quantities.
The main mission of ARES, it's take photo some territory where we know that is enemy.
Yeah.
He is so light you can try.
Okay. Where, a packet here maybe?
Yeah.
Ah, wow, yeah. Styrofoam.
Yeah.
It's like when you get a package from Alibaba, you know, from China. Amazing. What's the weight altogether?
2-3 kilograms.
How long can it fly and how far?
2 hours, and all distance, for example, from home to enemy and back to home, 120 kilometers.
Inactivity alarm.
Okay, so the drone is prepped, calibrated and prepared, and now we're going to send it off into the air so that it will fly deep behind enemy lines.
After takeoff, the men head to the dugout. It's like in a cockpit, just underground. One soldier flies and the other navigates. It's difficult work, with hundreds of drones on dozens of frequencies all in the air at the same time. Sometimes the view of another drone pops up on the screen. This time it's a Ukrainian FPV on its way to attack a Russian position.
So what do you look more for new targets that you haven't seen, or do you look more for movements or repositioning?
We look for both. We try to consider their position in real time, and also we try to find some new targets.
Due to its lightweight and delicate material, the ARES is quite sensitive to wind and rain, so operating it requires a steady hand. The landing is especially tricky, as the slightest mistake could shatter the drone. After landing, the recorded data is quickly extracted and the drone is sent back into the air.
So we just got the message that there's an enemy loitering munition drone close to us. Zal, our land, said they don't know exactly. So we have to make the second takeoff as fast as possible, then return down to the dugout.
After a few seconds, the enemy drone leaves our sector, and while the ARES is deep behind enemy lines, we use the chance to sit under the sun and chat with Maxim, the commander of this small reconnaissance team.
How long have you been working with drones?
With drones or with ARES?
With drones in general.
With drones, maybe 8 months.
Yeah, so I mean, you see all these different systems. You're testing all these different systems here directly on the battlefield. I mean,
yeah. I think now Ukraine is like training center for producers of different artillery, cars, technic, drones in world, because you can create very good drone with very good camera, with gimbal, but in Ukraine, in this war, this drone can't work, because Russians have a lot of anti-aircraft systems, radio, electronic
Warfare.
yeah, and this drone fly and fall out very fast.
Immediately.
Yeah.
With the freshly analyzed intelligence, we head to Roman. Roman commands an artillery battery, including the highly praised German Panzerhaubitze 2000. It's his job to utilize the information delivered by the reconnaissance team and eliminate any discovered target, but it's a job that has become increasingly difficult during the past months. The direction you're working in is generally around Bakhmut. It's over 1 year, even more, been one of the heaviest directions of the front line. How would you say the situation has changed over 1.5 years, and how is it now compared to how it was?
The Russian logistics in the beginning weren't that developed, and they didn't have as much ammunition. Now, the level of fire suppression is extremely intense. The situation is quite complicated because we don't have the means to work, but there's a job to be done. If they spot us, the shells they fire at us have been produced in 2023 or 2024. They have perfected their production process, and we, unfortunately, didn't.
We were today with the aerial reconnaissance, and we found, I don't know, how many guns did you find? 8 guns? Easily, 8 guns. It happens a lot that you have more information than you have possibilities?
Every day, from morning to evening, and also at night. To put it simply, there's the front line, the 0 and onwards, what you can see. But once we fly over the front line, 10 to 15 kilometers deep, the Russians feel very relaxed there, as if they're at home. My point of view is that I was given a gun. Then I need the bullets. If I was given a gun but no bullets to go with it, then what even is this? What's the use? That's one. The other thing is you have to understand, just because I'm a soldier doesn't mean that I'm happy to be here, fighting. There are no people that want to be here and stay here. The people just want to finish their job and then go back to their homes, to their families. If we won't have the ammunition, we won't stop the enemy. If we won't stop the enemy will advance, and their ambitions won't end with Ukraine.